Hi everybody, it's Kelly, also known on Twitter as KellyAnn1977, and I am cat sitting for my neighbor for the next 2 days. And it is 7:21 right now. So Sherry has a scoop of her hard food first thing in the morning. Then she has a scoop of her wet food. She has to have this stuff because she does not like to be left alone. And it comes in a scooper. And all she needs is about 4 drops. And as you can see, she's very hungry. I came over yesterday at about 7 o'clock. Spent about 15 minutes with her. My neighbor left about 10:30 in the morning yesterday. So this is a mouse treat holder that she got. And my neighbor got this for free a couple years ago. So I usually give her 6 of her treats in the morning. And then when I come over in the evening, I give her about 6 more for the rest of the night. And as you can see, she has a lot of toys. But this is the only one she'll play with because she knows there's food in it. So, yeah, my landlord, neighbor, had to go help her son out with his 2 large dogs while he goes away for work. So this is the stuff that she gets the cat. And she said this is about $4 a can. That's the only wet food she'll eat. So I will come back over here today about 1 and spend about another 15 minutes with her, brush her, she likes that. Then I change her waters. She has one in the kitchen and one out on the indoor porch. And then I clean her cat litter and sweep up the porch. Usually if there's any dishes in the sink she didn't get to, just knock them out too. And then I'll come back over about 7, 8 o'clock again tonight to give her some more wet food and some more treats. And then I will come over tomorrow morning about this time. And then my neighbor will be home in the afternoon. But yeah, she's very spoiled. So when my neighbor is working downstairs cutting people's hair, she has to come up frequently. So she'll try to schedule a client. She knows, oh, it'll be about an hour. Then she'll come upstairs for 5 minutes and then go downstairs and meet the next client. If she has a busy day, like she did Friday, because she knew she was going to have the next 3 days off, she had about 8 clients. You know, some just want a haircut, some want a dye, some want a haircut and a perm style wash, you know, the whole shebang. Takes longer. Then she's here by herself when she gets very upset when her mom comes home and texts her. But she's fine with me. She hasn't hissed at me or tried to scratch me in about 4 months. The last time I did watch her was probably 6 weeks ago. But I'm watching her, 3 weekends this month. So, so my teacher gave feedback yesterday after I did my vlog. I'll let you guys know that I did my human bio research report. I'm fairly confident I probably did 90% correct. If it's a research paper or a research report or a research lab. These are all different. They're set up differently. So the teacher has to be very clear of what they're looking for. So I did that, and then my teacher gave feedback on a journal from 3 weeks ago. I believe I wrote this journal November 9th. And it was asking questions about your first draft to your project, which is supposed to be set up like an essay research paper. And we had to do that animated reference that I told you about, where you give the information where it came from and a little paragraph of what it was about. Now she just sent us an example of how an online one should look, but my human bio teacher said that's not the way it's supposed to look. So this gets very confusing because you don't know what the teacher wants. The way the teacher had it was she had the heading of whatever her topic was. So say it was, I'll just use my other class, salmonella infection. And then that's what you would put with salmonella infection. Then she put retrieved at the email address. Then after that, she put who the author was and then the year. How my teacher wanted done for human bio was the author, right underneath it. She wanted the heading of it. Then she wanted where it was retrieved from. So it was the author, the title, what kind of source it was. Was it from a website? Was it a case data file? Was it a peer study? Was it an article? And then underneath that, she wanted to know where you got it from. So if it was online, you would put that website. If it was from a book, you would put that information in. If it was from a magazine, a hard copy, you would put that information in. Then underneath that, she wanted the date. She wanted the month, the day, and the year. Then she wanted you to skip and then write your paragraph. So this is why I'm saying this is very confusing, because you don't know how they want it. So I was questioning in that because I did this last week for her and I got 100. She gave me 100. So apparently I must have did it right because you gave me 100. If I did it wrong, you would have taken off points, I would imagine. So I asked her, is this how you want our references done? Because I was under the impression you didn't want it done this way, and that last week was just to inform us and teach us how to do it properly to make sure that we know. So I'm waiting for an answer for that. And then she said that she graded everything and she wrote in everybody's journal from 3 weeks ago that she graded it and to go look at it, and that she highlighted what she wants fixed. So she pissed me off because she said it seems like I copy and pasted a lot and I put the in-text citation, but I did not put the quotes. The only thing I copied and pasted word for word was the 4 states and the laws of littering, because there's no possible way I can really put that into my own words. It has different codes to it, like $ -1 dot whatever. Well, these things mean something. So I copy and pasted word for word. I said, for instance, the state of Vermont has this as their littering law, and then I copy and pasted it. I quotated it, and then at the end of all 4 of them, I put the in-text citation of where I got it from. Other than that, I did not copy and paste anything else. Everything I wrote was in my own words. And it was from different sources, and the in-text citations I put in is not because I copied and pasted a quote. It's because I didn't know the information, I just learned it. So I'm letting people know where I got the information from. So she really pissed me off because I didn't copy and paste. And I only provided the resources when now, 3 weeks later, I have 8 sources of my paper. So I don't know where I copy and pasted. But it's really, really irritating. And she'll keep saying, people don't realize, but the copy and paste, and they'll change a couple of words, and it doesn't mean you re-summarized it or re-paragraphed it, or whatever that word is. Paraphrasing. Well, I was told you can do that. So I have no clue what you're talking about. Like, I told my husband last night, I said, if somebody murders somebody and you're doing a case file on them, there's going to be the same similar information that's in a file. That's where you're getting it from. So, say an 8-year-old boy kills his family, you're going to say, according to blah, 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 this underage 8-year-old committed murder, premeditated, whatever it is. That's in a file. That doesn't mean you copy and pasted it. It's resetting your own words. Or if it's a list. Salmonella infection, one of my teachers wanted to know what the symptoms were. Well, I'm not going to, if it's 5 things, I got to include the 5 things. It doesn't mean I copy and pasted it. So, you're going to have these 5 words. Vomiting, diarrhea, fevers, chills, cold sweat. You can't change that. So, it gets a little confusing. And sometimes you can't really re-summarize something. You can't, if it's a certain word that only means one thing, you can't use another one. But I will change up the words. If I'm writing something about symptoms, and they have, for example, the symptoms are da-da-da-da-da, then I'll write salmonella infection has several symptoms, such as, which is different. But some of my teachers will say, yeah, that's like paraphrasing, and other teachers will say that's still considered copy and pasting a quote. So it becomes very confusing. So for feedback, that's the only thing that she suggested that I do. She said that once I explained to her what different sources that I actually had, she said that was fine, that she wasn't aware that I had other sources, like 2 articles, 1 journal, an interview from a government officer. So she wasn't aware of this stuff. And then I just have some general information on hunting in the state of Vermont, not anywhere else. So it's just annoying. So, I go and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? How come I can't see my grade for this? And how come it's not showing anything highlighted? So, I privately emailed her at 3:50. She was still online because at 4:07 she wrote everybody that example I just told you about. So I know she was still online. She should have received my message right away. She didn't write me back. A student at 3:23 asked her a question, and she didn't answer. She was online. And an hour after I posted at 4:53 the questions to homework for the week, you can ask questions. So I asked 2 different questions. One being, I can't figure out how to look at your suggestions that you want me to do. And another student also said that she couldn't see anything either. So it's not me. Maybe she thought she unlocked it, whatever. She didn't. Because there's some settings that the teachers actually have to put passwords in and unlock themselves. So maybe that was it. But, you want this done by the 10th. People may want to start the vacation early. Maybe they're going away for the holidays. You don't know what they're doing. Maybe they go work overtime. So they got to get the work done when they can. And I want to have it rechecked by e-tutoring just to make sure that there's enough proof backing up my education statement thesis. And, the only laws that I could find on a government site that anybody can look up and look at was about littering. I couldn't find none on, if you get caught poaching, fishing, or if you get caught hunting right now, it's not hunting season. I didn't find any legit laws on this. So the only thing that I could really talk about is the littering law. So, and I need at least a 70 on this to graduate, even though, well, not to graduate, to pass this class and not have to take it again, even though I have a 99.9 in her class. And so it becomes very confusing when she's like, oh, you should do this, you should include that, you should change this, and then you get your grade and you have 100. And I'm like, well, if you are giving suggestions, apparently it's not perfect. So that becomes very confusing. But just waiting for the feedback from her. The last time I checked was 11 o'clock last night before I went to bed, and she wasn't back online. I mean, this is what you do. You've been behind in the grades. It took her way too long, even discussions. She was 2, 3 weeks behind. So you've been taking it a little bit easy, waiting until the last minute, like giving us 5 days to revise work. And then, you know, you expect us to bend over backwards. It's not going to happen. So for my first draft, if I could at least see what the grade was for the way it looks now, you know, if it's like a 65 and I just do these things that she asked me, this one thing that she asked me, then that would definitely give me a 70, I would imagine. So I hate I hate doing stuff like this. My other English class was like that for your profile. Oh, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but we had to write 5 things, like telling a story and a research paper, and like there's 5 different ways of writing, basically, in college. So we had to do all 5 of them. And he wanted them at least revised one time during the semester. And then you had to put your first copies in there along with your revised finished copies. And then he graded you on it. And I needed a 70 in it to be able to pass his class. And I got an 80 on it. And I ended up with a 74 for the semester in his class. So I just hate stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. If I did all the work all semester and I'm getting good grades and maybe this is just a little bit difficult for me, doesn't mean I can't write. So, and then I was watching some gameplay of Resident Evil 2 Remake. So I figured I'd talk about that a little bit today, right now. I saw a little bit of gameplay with Leon, Ada Young, and I saw the Mr. X Tyrant, however you pronounce his name. Now, he's been in other games. He was in one of the Resident Evil games, kind of new one, with Wesker. And Wesker had the superpower where he could like fly like Superman. And that Tyrant, there was a few of them. He was basically naked and he looked like he was silver. So they kind of kept Mr. Tyrant, Mr. X Tyrant is what they're calling him. Apparently he's not broken. And he's dressed up in a suit. And you can only shoot him in his head. If you shoot anywhere else, it's like he's made out of armor and it protects him. One of the guns kind of looks like a rifle, but explodes fire. You can only put 1 bullet in it. It takes a while to reload, so that kind of stinks. These zombies are definitely smarter. They're faster when they attack. If they get too close to you, they will do damage. I saw where they were shooting perfectly the zombies in the head, and it was taking 3 to 5 bullets to take them down. They showed shooting them in the knee. That was like 3 bullets. And you have to shoot both knees out. And then they'll just crawl very, very slowly so you don't have to finish them off. The knife that you do end up getting deteriorates. so it will break, and you will have to find another one. You start off with 8 slots, nothing really new. It looks like you can find 2 upgrades for the backpack, so you can end up with 12 slots. But the larger weapons do take 2 slots, like usual. So that kind of stinks. I don't know, like, these are just small demos at, like, E3. So they didn't show, can you make your own bullets in this one, like you could do Resident Evil 7. Can you upgrade or, like, use coin? Do you have to find collectibles or shoot little sheriff shields, badges, and stuff that they've had, like Resident Evil 5 was like that, which I didn't like that too much. So they haven't gotten into that. Like, can you upgrade your character? Like in, I think it was Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 4, you could meet the guy that sells stuff and you could upgrade your weapons that way and make them stronger, hold more bullets, reload speed. So they haven't gotten into any of that. The herbs, the green herbs in the police station look totally real. You would think they were kind of like marijuana. I always suspected it was marijuana with extra drugs. Makes sense. So, in the police station, the statue, I believe it used to be like the chief of police, is now like the Statue of Liberty woman. Instead of finding one, what I call like a pendant, a really large coin, you have to find 3 different ones. One of the doors to open up, you have to have a knife so that you can cut the tape, just like in Resident Evil 7. So they've taken some of Resident Evil 7's mechanics and added it to this remake. There's a door to the left that was never, it was just a regular door. Now you have to activate it, and you have to hurry up and slide underneath the door and it slams shut. And you can explore in there. There's new rooms. Like I said, you go to one area, and this is where you first meet Mr. X Tyrant. He was never in the police station that I remember. I remember the first Resident Evil 2 game, which, the graphics wasn't very great or anything like that. The voice acting was awful as well. They were just regular zombies then. You get the dogs are in here, the tyrants in here, the regular zombies are in here, and those lizard-lick things I noticed that were in the demo. So you get everything, the whole shebang. As I said, they're very fast. You want to try to stay away from them. It's very hard to run past them. You literally have to take them out. So I'm hoping that you can at least buy or make ammos at some point, because if you're only relying on what setting you're on, that's going to be very difficult and very stressful. You don't want to make your game stressful. I don't really ever remember playing as Ada Wong before, but you do. And she also comes across the tyrant. And she has other ways of traveling in Raccoon City that nobody else does, which is pretty cool. And she's wearing the red dress that Alice wore in the movie. So as I watched her demo a little bit, I was like, oh, I wonder, did they actually throw Alice in there and she has the boots and the red dress with the shorts to mimic Ada Wong? But Ada Wong's always supposed to be Asian. And she had black hair and kind of, maybe that's where they got the idea of putting a female character in the same exact dress Ada Wong is wearing in this demo. They are using the Resident Evil 7 engine, and they're calling it the Resident Evil engine. I couldn't tell, but my husband could. I think in Resident Evil 7, because you're looking out through the eyes of the person, that everything's close up. So it looks more realistic to me. In this one, the remake, you can still see the back of the person. So it's like the angle's up more, and it just makes everything not look as good, I feel. Um, some of it looks the same at the PlayStation, some of it doesn't. It's probably going to be a $60 game. It's coming out January of next year. Um, and if they do it like Resident Evil 7, they're probably going to have download contact, um, download items and shit. So it's probably going to end up being an $80, $90 game. And it's, probably extra costumes and extra health or backpack or something. Um, but I think they did a good job with the 2 demos that I watched so far. And you meet 2 more officers at the police station that you never met before. You can now look at the computer camera systems and see where people are located at and what monsters are there, which gives you a heads up. It looks like it still has the typewriter for saving. It still has, that box to put your stuff in. You can now, take all your ammo out and you can stack more of it, which is good because now you can hold more items that way. But you have to be careful when you do this. You want to do it wherever this box is at, or you can get attacked. And it's like 3 or 4 buttons later, and then, oh, now it's stacked. You can reload this way as well. You can drop an item. Say you need health right then, and there's a health there. You can drop an item, use your health, and then re-pick up the item. I know some games don't allow that. Like, the item will disappear for some reason. So there didn't look like there were any problems with that. Claire, of course, is 18 in it. Leon is supposed to be 21. And if I remember correctly, it's 1 year of training he had. And it's his first day alone on the job when the outbreak happens. Somebody who played it was like, oh, this Leon looks so much younger. I thought he was like under the age of 18. Well, when I looked at the clip of Resident Evil 2 when it first came out, I believe it was PlayStation 2, you couldn't tell what he looked like. It was like a cartoon drawing. I don't know. I have no clue. So I'm sure there's going to be a season pass sold with this. I'm sure there are good DLCs made for this. So it looks pretty good. There's some new memos and reports to read that have never been in the games before. You can find old ones, you can find new ones. I think they did that for people who have played this before, so it's not deja vu all over again. And there's new areas to look at and new storylines that go with those areas. But to me, just remembering what Resident Evil 2 was like, it seems like they changed up the story all together. I never remembered Sherry being in any of these games, but when I watch little clips that people have provided as proof she was. I just never remember her being in them. I remember a girl, Lisa, or Lucy or something like that, and she transformed to this big monster, and she was supposed to be like 12, and you couldn't kill her because she regenerated. I remember her being in it, and they brought her back for Resident Evil 2 as being the villain, and she wanted payback for what Umbrella did to her. But I don't remember Sherry. And apparently Sherry does have the virus in her, and you need to give her some medication to slow down the virus, but it doesn't cure it or take it away. So that's interesting. But that's basically all I know about watching these 2 short demos from E3. And just the people who have been able to play this demo, just their personal feedback on it and what they noticed. So, again, it looks good. The sounds look great. The voice acting is good. The rain you can actually see in front of your face. You can hear the wind blowing like Resident Evil 7, which is always nice. So, other than that, not really too much more going on. I went to bed last night a little after 11. and I woke up today at 4:30. Not much sleep, but a lot better than what it has been the past couple of nights. I've had a lot of heartburn for some reason. Don't know why. So in my human bio class, I guess the teacher's not unlocking anything yet. Usually she unlocks the week either Saturday morning or Sunday morning, but she hasn't. So she's probably just waiting until Tuesday since it is last week. So I guess Tuesday I'll have my results for the online exam, which is 20 minutes long, because it grades it right away. You only get one chance to do this, and it's timed, so I'll know what it is. And it puts it right into Moodle grading book and tells you what your grade is. So I'm going to do some housework with my husband. Goes to his brother's. He's going to leave about 12:30. Play some D&D with his brother and a couple friends. I'm going to do some ASMR videos. Pre-record some. I got to put away the laundry. I'm going to borrow my neighbor's vacuum and do a really good vacuum in our apartment. Because her vacuum you can use on a rug. And we only have one rug where my husband's gaming room is, and I can't use the vacuum that we have for that. It'll break it. And maybe knock out the bathroom today. We'll see. And then tomorrow I plan on hopefully hearing back from my teacher for my English class so that I can spend Monday and Tuesday revising it and then resubmit it to eTutoring. And then and I have until the 10th to submit it to her. So can't wait. 8 more days. The semester's over. 15 weeks, no break at all. Not like a state college gets usually 2 9-day vacations. They may have to have like a chapter they have to read. So the first day they come back from the vacation, they can discuss it. Or they may have a question or two to answer, but usually it's not anything heavy duty that's going to take away from the vacation. So I do 1 week shy of 4 months straight. I will end up getting 35 days off, but tomorrow I will be ordering my books and just doing the free shipping. Usually takes about 10 days. And, I will probably 25 days into my vacation start to read and highlight what I need to highlight, to look to see if any of my online teachers have unlocked anything. Sometimes they will. And as soon as I can start, I will start again. And I'm doing 8 months straight with no vacation. The 3 weeks that I should have off in May before I start June classes, because in the summertime it's only 10 weeks, not 15 weeks. I have a 3-week class. So for that mini 10-day vacation I'm supposed to get, I have something that I'm going to have to do. So it's not much of a vacation. So I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Be safe out there. We did get like an inch of snow, even though we said it wasn't going to snow at all. So, bye. Oh, I'll show you my neighbor's Christmas tree. We don't have one. We're going to get one, but never happened. So, here's my neighbor's. It's a fake one. And her grandchildren come over and they help her decorate it. And then they help her put out all her little houses the way they want it. They pick out where they want everything. They were over here 2 days ago, and she made this with her grandson, who's 3 years old. They do up here. They really enjoy doing this kind of stuff with their grandmother. Setting the table and stuff. They do all the knickknacks up here and on the window, and so she has 2 grandchildren, so they feel like, they're doing something with her. They did pumpkin carving for Halloween. She took a granddaughter who's older to pick apples in October, and her granddaughter made 2 apple pies herself. She made the dough and everything. She's about 10 years old. She gave me and my husband 2 pieces. And then she gave us 6 apples that she washed and picked herself for us. So it's cute. I tend to buy her and her brother things at Dollar Tree. And they like that, like bubbles and nothing too, expensive or anything like that. But I'll grab some snacks for them that I know that they like. And it's always nice when they come over and they get a little surprise. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. And again, any cell phone games that are free that you would like me to try out for you, I have no problem doing that. I record them on my phone. And any applications that you're interested in, you want to know how they work before you download it and waste some space, just let me know because I do enjoy doing them. Bye, guys.